let us invite our business correspondent, Aline Wiratmaja. So, Aline, good day to you. What should we take into consideration before deciding to join in the IPO?
Yes, Bruce. So this is the most anticipated IPO this year. GOTO plans to offer up to 52 billion new Series A shares, or around 4.35% of its enlarged capital. GOTO set a price range of 316 until 346 rupiah per share. GOTO plans to raise about 18 trillion rupiah, or 1.26 billion US dollars. In its initial public offering, or IPO. If you look at this number, this is smaller than the IPO value of Bukalapak. So GOTO IPO will not be the largest IPO of all time in Indonesia. If we can see the chart on the screen, a record currently held by Bukalapak as the biggest IPO of all time. As we all know, GOTO was formed through a merger between an e-commerce Tokopedia and a ride-hailing Gojek. The company is the first to take advantage of the multiple voting rights allowed by the regulator in Indonesia. When publicly listed on the 4th of April, Bruce, GOTO will be valued at nearly 29 billion US dollars, or 413 trillion rupiah. We can see the chart on the screen. So therefore, GOTO would become the fourth most valuable company listed on Indonesia Stock Exchange after Bank Central Asia BBCA with 1,010 trillion rupiah. We can see it on the screen. Bank Rakyat Indonesia 704 trillion rupiah in market cap, and Telekomunikasi Indonesia TLKM 458 trillion rupiah in market cap at current price level on Wednesday. So GOTO, with projected market cap 413 trillion, will be the fourth biggest listed companies in Indonesia. Bruce.
So the fourth most valuable company after two banking and one telecommunications, the fourth one will be GOTO. Sounds pretty nice. So Aline, should we join the book building or not? And if we do, what should be taken into consideration?
Okay, I'm going to tell you about the IPO utilization first, or the purpose of this IPO. In its prospectus, GOTO stated that the fund raised through the IPO will be allocated to support the growth of GOTO and its subsidiaries in Indonesia as well as in other countries. We can see from the chart here on the screen, like 30% of the fund raised in IPO will be used by GOTO, and then another 30% will be for Tokopedia, 25% for Dompet Anak Bangsa or GoPay, 5% for Multifinance Anak Bangsa, part of GoFinance, 5% for Gojek Singapore, and another 5% for Gojek in Vietnam. Bruce.
All right, so you see there on your screen how it's allocating the funds for Gojek abroad as well. And Aline, when you talk about the timing, what do you think are the challenges ahead of the IPO?
So yeah, Bruce, let's see the data for GOTO. We can see from the chart on the screen, like GOTO as of September 2021 has over 2.5 million driver partners or registered driver partners, and 14 million registered merchants, and 55 million annual transacting users. It's pretty big. However, just like Bukalapak, GOTO goes on IPO with its bottom line still in the red. In the 9 months to September from a year earlier, GOTO booked losses before taxes as much as 12.3 trillion rupiah, worsened by 7% year on year. We can see the figure on the screen on this chart. And then still, the company showed strong growth in its operation, Bruce. Gross transaction value, or GTV, reached 414 trillion rupiah in the 12 months ending 30th of September 2021, growing 167% since 2018. GOTO also reported a revenue of 15.2 trillion rupiah in the same period, or growing 210% from 2018. We can see the figure here. Yes, in its prospectus, Bruce, it was written that GOTO has book losses since it was formed, and there is a possibility that GoTo will not be able to reach profitability in the future. It was written on the prospectus. I think we should take it into consideration. However, GoTo's CEO Andre Sulistyo said that GoTo had a clear road or path to profitability, but he declined to give a forecast on this, Bruce. And then, yes, talking about the challenges, I think it's the timing, Bruce. Other than those numbers that we have just saw, we should also pay attention to the timing as well. GoTo proceeds its IPO plans under volatile global stock markets due to the geopolitical crisis in Ukraine, and also it's not good for equity market in the Wall Street. In recent weeks, we also saw that the tech stocks have been fallen not only in the Wall Street but also in China market as well as in our region, Southeast Asia. However, fortunately, Indonesia market is bucking a global downtrend, Bruce, with our index up 5% so far this year, even rising a record high in recent weeks. All-time high, we have reached that, and we're waiting for the time Jakarta Composite Index will hit 7,000. But we also should take consideration of the fate of another tech firm that went on IPO last year, Bukalapak. We know that Bukalapak's 1.5 billion IPO was the biggest of all time in August back then. But since its listing, Bukalapak share price, we can see it has fallen 75%. I mean, almost 70% in just 6 weeks. And then if we see another peer of GoTo, Seal Limited, you know, it's losing its value 75% only in 5 months. So the fall of the share prices is very strong, while Grab Holdings has plunged 70% since it was listed in the United States last year. So go to buy or buy, it's up to you, Bruce. Back to you.
Okay, Aline, so you mentioned that, yes, the world is indeed under economic uncertainty, but the Indonesian market is doing well. And of course, GoTo, its IPO, it's clouded by the so-called disappointment of Bukalapak in recent months. The question right now is, I guess, for some of us, investors or traders perhaps, you can just buy the stocks, and then once they're done with the IPO, quickly sell it for a quick profit. That's what I did when I was trading, so you might want to consider that as well. Don't you think, Aline?
Yes, I think you can choose that, Bruce. That's true. So just short-term gain, and let's see where the stock prices goes after that, right?
Yes, a short sell, just quickly. Do not hold it for the long term, because as you know, as you mentioned actually, tech, Bukalapak in particular, let's learn from that disappointment. All right. Thank you, Aline.
Always has a plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Aline.